No, Pika, that's a very bad idea. I don't agree with your logic on that. Open the show with a train of cuss words. Sometimes I don't know what he's thinking. Sometimes I think you're all stuffed with fluff. It's pre-recorded on Wednesday at 4 p.m. here from our Boston studios, which is down the street from the corner. Pre-recorded before a live studio audience of my stuffed animals over there in the production studio. We have in the control booth, we have Drinka. You can barely see him over there. You can see him now. He's next to Cecil. Cecil's hiding back there too. We've got the studio audience, the Canadian Bear, and our executive producer, a Pikachu. That's right. That's you. We boop boop to you, my friend. And hello to you, my friends out there. How are you? How art thou? How are you doing? It is it's the first day of spring, isn't it? It's the first day of spring. So happy spring. Winter is over. All right. No more complaining. All right. Especially from you. Not him. He's dressed for the weather. Well, that static cling of yours, you just, it's like the rain just rolls right off you. Welcome to the Comics Talk with Reverend Sully here at your dojo for tactical and practical spirituality. I've been putting on workshops and dojos and techniques on how to survive in this cold and lonely world. Over in the morning show, I call it the MGTOW Morning Show. It's just clickbaity stuff to get you to watch. Well, I actually tell you a story about resilience and how to use spirituality in a practical manner using gratitude and blessings. Very good. And it's Wednesday. It's new release day. We like comic books here. So do you. It's like you've been tuning in all this time. Let's see. That's 8. Yes, I have to shrink the page so I can count them. How many comic books were solicited this week? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's 146 titles solicited just here. We go to leagueofcomicgeeks.com and we look at the menu of what's going to be available today on the shelves of our local comic book shops, our LCS. That's right. This show, we've been doing this comic book show for a couple of years now. Actually, I believe April 2020 was like my first YouTube video. Before that, I was doing 45-second satirical funny bits called Plaid Palpatine. You might remember. You remember Plaid Palpatine, don't you? I'm evil. Don't be scared. He'll come back. Somehow, Plaid Palpatine will return. But yeah, it's been so I've been making content for almost about 4 years. Yeah, and a big chunk of that time we did a daily show about comic books. A daily show. That was hard work. It was beautiful, fun work too. It really was, and it grew on its own, and we legitimately grew an audience, and people tune in, and people subscribe, and people ask me to come on their shows and do what? Talk about comic books. I love it. I love comics. So I go to my comic book shop every Wednesday, and it gives me something to look forward to. It's fun. I get to talk to the staff. There are beautiful geeky women working at my comic book shop, and I get to talk to beautiful geeky gals weekly. I get to practice. So when I go to a con, I'll be like, well, hey there, Harrison Dula. How are you? Something like that, But I love my local comic book shop, Davis Square, Somerville, Massachusetts, United States of America. And I'm hopefully there with you right now. We had to change the time for the show to start at 4 p.m. so I could, be at the live premiere of my own show. Because, our hours at work changed. And, I didn't want to miss my own show. Now, do I? Should I? I have once in a while. I mean, doing a daily show, it was like, oh, wow, that was a lot of work. It was the yeoman's work, I'll tell you that much. And I'd like to work on Yeoman Rand, if you know what I mean there. Hey there, little Starfleet cutie. What are you doing after class? I'm too old to talk like that. I'm like Perry in Moonstruck. I actually just got a copy of Moonstruck. Oh, it was on sale. It's Criterion Blu-ray. Moonstruck, great movie. It's Cosmo's moon. Yeah. Let's see. I like to start at the bottom of this list. No, we're not inviting any. Pika, you're company enough for this show. Yeah. And I want to thank you all for joining the fun here. Here we go. Now, this is how I usually look at it. Then I blow it up a little bit. Oh, wrong screen. 1, 2, 3, 4. Blow it up a few times so, it gets, so we can look at stuff. Tighter lines by other cover coming soon. That sounds, let's look. It's Jose Verisi's second art book collecting his line works. 24 pages. No price. My name is Barbara. Not Barbara. Barbara. I'm on Audible. I'm an Audible junkie. I love books. Oh, and these are the things that are leading off the list. So here's just a quick look at what's available this week on the shelves of our local comic book shops. And I usually read most of the Marvel and DC comics through a friend of mine who shares their Dropbox with me, and I read review copies. But the week and day of, so it's they're just they're past their expiration point. So it's more of okay, here, take a gander at these. They got them 2 weeks ago, or more. So, there's spoilers out there. But there's also, there's a thing out there, a system out there. It's just comic shops and reviewers get, they get early copies. They do. I'm not jealous. Actually, oh boy. Big Ethel Energy Season 2. Oh. It's an Archie comic. And you know how we feel about Archie comics here. Oh. Let's see. How many Scout books will be solicited this week? This Sandman book here, that you see the Audible ad there, that is incredible. I enjoyed the hell out of that. It was very close to the comic book, and it made me feel good. It made me remember almost all that art and all that time spent reading Neil Gaiman's Sandman. 2 Scout comics. It's Commercial Space by Scout Comics. It's $6.99 for its 60 pages. Oversized one-shot at a discount price. Welcome to the Sun and Fun Office Park. It's somewhat true story of Blake and Katie, a 30-something couple who inherit a rundown office park in rural Florida. Stuck with a wacky gaggle of tenants and a marginally sane handyman, they must find a way to turn things around fast. The rent is due, and the clock is ticking. Can they turn a profit and avoid foreclosure before the inmates take over the asylum? This is like it. Oh, and there's a variant cover. Indeed. Oh, brave. But it's like, that's like every movie I grew up with in the 80s is that same plot. We like to start off near the bottom of the list just because it's we might miss something, you know. I mean, there could be something here. Ooh, White Castle. Their fries only come in one size. Well, that's the Beastie Boys, you know. And I haven't been to a White Castle in a long time, and that's probably a good thing. I mean, Jesus. Oh, AC Books, Calder Nahara. What pulled me in was the victimization of the woman, and just drew my eyes right into it. Or is she? It's the Sanguine Extractor. Oh my goodness. Positive sanguine, optimistic or positive, especially in a bad or difficult situation. That's interesting. It sounds like me. Aw, look at it. We're going to sap your optimism. It's kind of like what Instagram does to me, so that's why I'm not on Instagram. No, I'm not on Insta. I'm not on Facebook either. You won't find Reverend Sully on Facebook. If you do, it's not me. Jughead, Springtime Bash, Ozuna from Sumerian, Ozuna Bori 787, number 3 from Sumerian Comics. Now, any of these books here, if you have a pull list, you can ask. You know, like, if you should check these out like at least a month in advance, though. Oh wow, Scout Comics, Dust. Is that Alex Segura? Yeah. The Dusk, nonstop world premiere issue, followed by the complete trade paperback. Huh? $4.99 comic. Okay, whatever that means. What's up with the trade dress? CHISPA. Can you see that? Let's look at the. Yeah, I wonder if that's Chispa or that's like the. Yeah. Okay. We've looked at the bottom of the list. Now let's get to the top of the list. We got Nightwing, 112. Tom Taylor stepping away from his book here at I think number 118, I believe. Still got the Donna DC trade dress on all of these DC publications, except for Superman, Batman Superman is World's Finest, because it's set in the past. Still a good book, you know, but proof of the pudding's on the plate. I don't buy it. I haven't been buying World's Finest. I didn't even nibble for the Return to Kingdom Come. I'm just done with that kind of, you know, with Kingdom Come stories, I guess. It's Kingdom Come was wonderful allegory. It's 30 years old now. Written by Mark Waid, art by Alex Ross. It should be a staple on every DC superhero fan's collection, an Elseworld. We call it Earth 22 in the grand multiverse of what's going on in the DC. We're on Earth. We're technically Earth Prime, once Earth 15, I guess, or something. You know, in a newer multiverse, but we call it Prime Earth or Earth Zero, and I just call it Prime Earth Zero now. You can get that from that information from inside here. I'll show you. I'll point it out to you. Characters: Earth Zero, Prime Earth. See that right there? Yeah. And there's a backup feature in there. Great cover art by Bruno Redondo. See, Ben Abernathy still, you know, on the masthead for one more month at least. When Katie Kubrick will be there any second now, and you probably have all these like. I wonder if it's just like Ben Abernathy's vision extends to like the absolute justice thing, or absolute power. Is that the thing that's coming up with Amanda Waller? We got Superman 12. I've been reading this. And this is part 12 in a 12-part story. So it's been a nice. This is going to collect really nicely. So this is $5. 5 times 12. That's 6. I spent $60 on this story already on a book. It's yeah. And I wonder how much the trade will be, the collection. We got some beautiful cardstock variants. Oh, wow. Dan Jurgen wraparound. Dan Jurgens is a classic superhero creator of the copper and modern age. It's been fun. I like, Josh. This is Joshua Williamson Shining. This is his best stuff so far that I've read. There's Titans number 9. Yeah, I'm just gonna skip. Wonder Woman number 7 by the ever charming Tom King. And art change is going to be Gila March. So it's Daniel Sampere is stepping away real quick. And we've got some really nice women's history cardstock variant. Wow, incentive covers. Yeah, great covers. And it's just an issue number 7. Okay. And special issue written by Tom King with art by Gila March for the Batman that has everything amidst their adventures as Superman and Wonder Woman. Clark and Diana take a thrilling journey into space to get a birthday present for their dear friend Bruce. Okay. Fantastic Four number 18. Ryan North's right in this, right? Yeah. Wow, look at the hit. And once again, here, it's the top. These are the Mark Brooks floating head variant covers. And that's just the pencil work, okay? We're supposed to know that this is Medusa from the shadowing on the hair. It gets iconic when we add color. And that's about it. And those are the Mark Brooks variant covers. The Secret of Franklin Richards. Franklin Richards is immortal. He's also a mutant, an Omega level mutant. Yeah. He's created life, entire universes. And sure. Okay. I've been kind of hot and cold on this title. But it's okay. It really is. Overall, it's okay. It's just not like hitting it for me personally. We get Spawn 351 still at $2.99. The aftermath of Spawn 350. It's written by Todd McFarlane and art by Brett Booth. Wow. And this, I never see this on the shelves at my LCS. I would love just to have a physical copy in my hand to see the paper, the weight of it, the heft, the advertisements. What kind of advertisements are in an Image Spawn book? Is it just because Todd makes action figures? Here, welcome to the Mark 72 armor. I love this armor. I love different Iron Man armors. Pepe Larraz designed this armor as well. Pepe Larraz is an incredible artist. He's doing the core book for Blood Hunt with Jed McKay. So I've actually signed on for that at my LCS. I'm going to get the Blood Hunt red band, and I'll volunteer for a variant if it's not Mark Brooks, that is. See, look, the Mark Brooks head, the headshot. And look, most of it's that screen tone thing in the background. So that's, and that is what Brooks gets paid for. And this is what he submits to his colorist, who does the rest of the work. I wonder, the colorist. Exactly. And see over here, Earth 616. That's the Marvel Earth. That's our Earth. Our Earth. Our Marvel Earth. Earth 616. Not MCU Earth. Earth what would that be called? Earth MCU? Because it has its own thing going on. It has from day one. Justice Society of America, number 9. This intermittent hit. It's really suffering from it's tripping over its own delays, but it is Jeff Johns' final DC book. Bringing in the Red Lantern and the daughter of the Golden Age Red Lantern, and it's interesting. Yeah. And yeah, here's your cast. Let's move this down a bit so we can see future solicits. And the Legionnaire Strikes doesn't have a. This could be the last issue of Jeff Johns' run. This is solicited for April 16th. Next month. We got April 30th. What? Look at that. So it's got okay, so no, it's June 25th. Sorry. For Justice Society of America. I was buying this. I kind of got bored with it. Yeah. It happens. Hey, you're not married to this. You don't have to go to couples therapy. Catwoman this is 9 Lives Part 5. And I've been digging this Teenie Howard book. I have. And art by Carmine Di Giandomenico. I prefer the French, the Rafale art, but it's like, hey, but there's some really interesting variant covers, and this is just an issue. This is the $3.99, 32 pages, and it would show you right here, 9 Lives, 20 pages, a story, boom, and 32 pages. This is a backup feature, and I've been liking it. Yeah, I love her in purple. I love that purple outfit. It's very iconic for me. I mean, I know there's a whole generation or two of fans that grew up with the movie lens, which is also kind of like the Batman 66 lens too, because that was black, form-fitting and tight. But the purple outfit is just very iconic. So I'm looking forward to, I got a couple of things on my pull list from this. I got 3 at least. I'm telling you right now. They'll be waiting for me at my local comic book shop, including Cobra Commander number 3. I believe this is of 5. And it's getting Determined to Rule the World, which collects, let's see. Does it say? It doesn't say. 5 stories. So it collects 5. This is a 5 issue. I just like looking ahead. Yeah, so here it is. Here it is. Mini-series finale, 5 issues. Okay. So these are 5-issue minis. So that's good to know. I think I learned that from my friend Yule Carter, friend of the show, at Fantastic Comics of Berkeley, California. If you need a local comic book shop in your life, please talk to Yule Carter. Your own mailbox could be your local comic book shop. You know, his deets are in the detail. I'm blessed to have 8 comic book shops around this fortress of solitude here in the Boston area. And some people don't have any. So, you know, I now have 9 local comic book shops within striking distance because I put in special orders with Yule Carter often. And I've always been satisfied with the results. Thank you. This is not a paid advertisement. Neither is the coffee. These are just my friends' brands. And it's good to support independent big businesses, local small businesses, the American way. You know, every comic book shop is an independent bookstore. They pretty much are. And it's a small business. So also, like, I get my supplies there. Yeah, I need bags, I need boards, and I need boxes. So the chances are so do you. And where do you get your supplies from here in the future in 2024? I mean, are you using your online supply chain exclusively? And probably getting a price break too, knowing, like, you know, you could just buy a bit more and you get it delivered. Yet it kind of cuts the shop, the LCS, out of that supply chain. And I had totally agreed to pay to the retail markup. But also with the pull list now, I get 10% off of supplies as well as like 10% off. You know, there's a nice 10% discount that, you know, membership applies. You know, that's nice. It keeps, you know, it's just like, geez, I spent a lot of money on supplies this past year. If you remember last year's show, we were reboarding, reboxing, and rebagging my entire collection. I've replaced all of my long boxes with short boxes, and mostly everything got a bag and a board, and I should have been using them all, especially boards. I mean, I got so much spine roll. None of my comics are worth anything except for the sentimental value. There are a few choice ones I found out there. But besides that, it's just your usual run-of-the-mill comic book collection, you know, and we don't discuss what's going to happen to it after the inevitable. Pika gets everything. I've been liking Iron Man. I just want to say, take a moment to talk about, this is the Mark 72 armor. It's made with the mutant metal Mysterium. Say that 3 times fast. But it's the Mark 72. I like it. I like the head. I like the black and the gold and the red. It's a nice combo. I'm a big fan of Iron Man armors. Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong #6 has been a very fun comic. But it does not have the Dawn of DC trade dress. Yet, it might be in continuity because it does say Earth 0, Prime Earth. It's set in the past. So it could be contemporary of what's going on in Mark Waid's World's Finest. But yeah, so this is so technically there's a Godzilla in continuity of the DC universe. Interesting. But it's been a great book. It's been fun. Good use of the characters. Everyone looks very iconic. I like that. I believe this is only going 7 issues. So this thing's wrapping up. $4.99, 40 pages. And so you're spending $35 on this book in total. And I wonder how much the collection will cost. I like questions like that. I mean, seriously, because the collection, you know, the trade paperback is going to have a nicer binding. They'll have a cover, you know, a better cardstock cover. But that's the whole thing about floppies and about the serialized part of this. It's fun. The resurrection of Magneto. Magneto? Is it Magneto? Yes, it's Magneto. I'm just going to skip ahead to Marvel X-Men. X-Men Forever #1. Who's done this? Jerry Duggan? No, Kieran Gillen. Oh, geez. Okay, so I've read enough Marvel over the past year that kind of caught me up, and not just the what's going on in the books with our old friends and everything, but to get a good feel of the creators and what they bring. Like, oh boy, here's a Mark Brooks headshot variant. And there he is, Mark Brooks. Oh, sorry, I didn't put up the screen. Okay, good. I don't want to pick on him. No, I don't, because good for him. He's getting good work. Back to action. The Haunted House of X. How can you kill the digital god? What do you do when the phoenix is bleeding out into nothing? There's been questions that's haunted you since the end of Immortal X-Men? Really? Finally, some answers. They never will. No. When they say that, they don't. They never answer questions. No. It's to keep you on that, to keep you on the stuff. Seriously. There's been some questions that have haunted you since the start of Immortal X-Men. Finally, some answers too. Tying directly into the pages of the epic Fall of the House of X and Rise of the Powers of 10 comes this story of revelation from Kieran Gillen and Luca Maresca. And it's got Jean Grey and that's Mark Brooks cover. Yeah, there you go. This is a 1 in 100 Mystique cover. That's really nice. I like that a lot. See, Mystique is allowed to be, she's a femme fatale. Now here we go. This is a 1 in 50. This is the sketch. Of course it's Storm because of the thunderbolts and the mohawk. And she looks like Storm. I mean, Storm's got a face. I mean, Storm looks like Storm, yeah? Alarming. This is definitely Psylocke. This is Quanon, though. How? How do you know the difference between Quanon and Betsy Braddock? Well, Quanon's Asian. But that's a great cover. I mean, yeah. See, they're not shying away. See, and that's all the stuff heaped upon the Mark Brooks line art. Or does Mr. Brooks color his own stuff? I don't know. And this is a really nice. This is a Phil Noto Quiet Council variant, but it's done in the style of a Marvel trading card. And thanks for taking a moment with me to look at some variant covers. Oh, and I love this shit. Man, the blister. I never find the. I gotta tell tell them, like, yeah, action figure blister card variants. I'm a sucker for. I like that cover a lot. It's a great look for Cyclops. Maybe one of. You know what? I'd like to know what you guys think in the chat and in the comment section, please. Some of your favorite Cyclops uniforms, some of your favorite looks on him. I like the first costume with the unified uniform look, and then that Dave Cockrum, Chris Claremont, John Byrne, Ramita Jr. Just like it's just the yellow trunks and the yellow boots and the with the skull cap part of it too. That 70s 80s Cyclops look, and it's really iconic. Love that look. Simple, utilitarian. And then comes the X Factor outfit, where it's a giant X on a onesie, and it had that annoying stripe on the top of the on the headpiece too at the beginning. Then comes the X-Men, the Jim Lee design in 91, and which is this, which is what? With this, the iconic X-Men 91 look. Now they call this X-Men 97 because that's the new cartoon, but this really is X-Men 92, and it went up until 97. So X-Men 97 is meant to have this kind of connection, being like after the last season. Those are very iconic looks for all of the characters. Loving it. I love Storm's design around this time. Gambit and Rogue are just classic. I love the classic Rogue, the Jim Lee kind of style of just her own variation in her colors of the X-Men uniform with the with the leather jacket. We got Blade. It's been pretty fun. It's consistent. People are liking Vengeance of the Moon Knight. A Jed McKay book, Jed McKay's he's pleasing people over there. Spider-Boy number 5. Let's see how many variants it's got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bailey Briggs, Spider-Boy. I think he's got a heel turn coming in him, and he's going to end up being a bad guy. And see, Miles Morales is from Earth 61610. And the current, which doesn't exist anymore, and the current Ultimate Universe that the maker recreated, that we are enjoying right now over an Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate X-Men, Ultimate Black Panther, is Earth 6160. Oh boy, Squirrel Girl and Mr. Cricket and Tippy Toe and all of our favorites are here. Is this going to be a 7 issues? Oh, this is the last issue of the arc, so it might be it could be like you might have a quiet cancellation here. We've been talking about that recently in some books, like David Cupid posts Punisher, 4 issues, and just okay, that's it. It didn't stick. But you got to block people on Twitter. At least you got your jollies off it, kid. Web of Spider-Man number 1, $7.99. Jeez, how many? Let's look for a. That's Greg Capullo art too. That's beautiful. $7.99, 56 pages, 5 stories. Let's see how many variant covers we got here. 1, 2, got an Alex Malee variant. 2, 3, 4. Paco Medina. 5. Got Scarlet Spider, Kane Parker coming back. He's got clones. Just imagine if you had clones. What would you do with them? Harvest them for organs? Hang out with them? You get gender swap version of yourself. What I mean? Just I don't know. Just see the perspective. I have no idea. I'm just a science fiction fan. I'm going with it. Philip Kennedy Johnson's Green Lantern War Journal. Number 7. New arc begins here. And they've kept their battery. Philip Kennedy Johnson and Montas. And let's see. It's solicited at least 10 issues. That's good. It's going to keep, it looks like it's going to keep its artistic battery for the first 12 issues. That makes a nice collection, you know. That stuff matters. Fill-in artists are, you know, so sometimes it can be disruptive. I don't know. What do you think? I've been loving this book. John Constantine Hellblazer, Dead in America. This is only going 5 issues, right? 6 issues. And a brutal turning point for the series. It could be going longer. That'd be cool. And there's previous stuff in this series by the same artist and writer that I need to catch up on. But this is very close to original recipe, John Constantine Hellblazer. Yeah, here we go. G.I. Joe, a real American hero. That'll be in my pull list. Great book so far. Yeah, support it. It's great. And it's fun. Let's see. Oh, we got a Destro Baroness cover. Like, looking forward to the in the solicits. Paul Pelletier will be taking over art duty soon. And yeah, I would love to get any of these, especially this 1 in 10 Kev Walker. Brad Walker, sorry. But still, I'm a big fan of Baroness. One of my favorite characters. I've got a... That's Baroness right there. Let's see. I hope you're all having a great day. Oh, here's something that, you know, I'm looking forward to then. I've begun to enjoy this book. And it's usually in my Marvel digital pirate chest. And it's, oh, there's 2. Okay, good. It's a good week for Star Wars then. Star Wars High Republic. This is Star Wars High Republic Phase 3. Meaning it's its 3rd season, 3rd volume. So I think that, you know, which is kind of good because they've kind of had a shaken out cruise. I mean, they got to see what works, what doesn't work. I mean, so what's gone is the emphasis on the social media agenda, message pushing. Now it's just a Star Wars comic book. I mean, I got no problem getting behind any of these characters because they're all pretty heroic. It's pretty Star Warsy. And I got to tell you that I've been pleased. 5 issues of the High Republic so far. I think I made that a bit too big. Here we go. Oh, Women's History Month. We have Ahsoka, who's nothing to do with this show. But yeah, this is going to be fun. This is good. This is good stuff so far. And but look, how many editors? Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 editors. But also there are at least 8, 9 different Star Wars books coming out of that office every month. This has been a good one. This is a mini. It's called Star Wars Thrawn Alliances, issue 3 of how many? Let's scroll down to the bottom and see. So there's 4 issues solicited for this. And yeah, so this is 4-issue mini. It'll collect nicely. And it was originally a book by Timothy Zahn. So it's just being adapted into a comics form. And it's really good Star Wars story to read as a funny book. Yeah, no problems with me. I like it. Captain Marvel #6, all the way at the end of... See, these are sorted by like the most solicited by stores. And this is like, we're nearing the bottom of like nobody wants Captain Marvel, especially by Alyssa Hugh Wong. And you're fucking, oh, here we go. There we go. Hi. What a cutie, though. And we have a Captain Marvel floating head, Mark Brooks variant. Oh, boy. Someone tell Ethan about this, man. I should. Send him a DM and be like, Ethan, here, here's some food for your fire. No, I don't want to encourage him. Let's see how many this has been solicited to. 8. New status quo. Carol's connection to Una Yang is shattered, and the undone is coming. Okay, sure. Maybe this is going 12 issues. Who cares? This is really this is a terrible comic book. I'm not even saying that because I dislike Ms. Wong because she blocked me on Twitter for whatever reason it was. Star Wars, the Star Wars Vision comic book coming out this week. I like stuff like this. Takashi Okazaki returns to the world of the Ronin once more. So it has like this Japanese flair of Star Wars Visions is it's like an anime flavored Star Wars animated collection of shorts. Is it Star Wars? It's a show, right? 2 seasons. I love to read from, you guessed it, a wiki. Star Wars Visions is an animated anthology television series created for the American streaming service Disney Plus. Produced by Lucasfilms, the series consists of an original animated short film set in or inspired by the Star Wars universe. And and the whole thing, it's to showcase different talents, different visions from different parts of the world. And man, it's something I could catch up on, huh? We got Wolverine Madripoor Knights #2. How many variant covers for this? Wow. That's cool. All right. Like I said, I like the last issue of this a lot, but it would have been perfect if you had better lettering. Someone like is Tom Warchowski retired? I mean, I know that shit was 40 years ago, man. Star Wars #18. No thanks. Pass on that. Oh, and some more. So we have 4 Star Wars titles just this week. Okay, we had 2 last week. That was, what I mean. We have a Jango Fett mini. And wow, look at all those variant covers, huh? Ethan Sachs. And once again, we have 5 variant covers. And this is going to be a 4-issue mini, a 3-issue mini, or maybe it's just solicited 3 issues. Sometimes it has a solicit for the trade paperback as well, and it does not. I like Jango Fett as a character. I do. I like the prequel stuff. Kill Your Darlings was a miss for me. This is going to be a miss for me too. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Untold Destiny of the Foot Clan. I think that's set in IDW continuity. I am a Mirage Studios kind of guy. James Bond 007 #3 that I missed issue 2. This is done by Garth Ennis. And gosh, I have to find issue 2 that's going at least 5 issues. Rated teen. This is on Dynamite. Dynamite has some interesting properties. I'll tell you that much. They're going to be doing a Flash Gordon book on Dynamite with written by Jeremy Adams. So I'm in on. I got to put that on my list. Totally. I'm in for that. And I would be down for, like, a nice variant cover for that too. Why not? I'm just of an age. I can do that. This has been a fun comic book for me. It's been Beware the Planet of the Apes. This is on the 20th Century Studios imprint. $3.99 comic book for a studio. Wow. Interesting. Usually all the 20th Century Studios imprints have been at least $1 more everywhere, like for Predator, for Aliens. But this is not. This is set in the original Charlton Heston Planet of the Apes continuity. And I see Cornelius, Nova, and Zira, and written by Mark Guggenheim. And serious, the guy does yeoman's work. And he might not be your favorite creator. He might not write the best stuff, but overall in his body of work, I find him to be a very consistent, competent story. Just a storyteller of these, especially of licensed stuff. He's good at playing with other people's toys. You know what I mean? There might be and then starts the spectrum of your likes and dislikes. Great cover of Vampirella. Check that out. Dynamite's always had the cheeky, and Vampirella has always been cheeky. It's a really nice cover. And these are variants. See? Cheesecake. Feminine beauty. Objectification. Or just, you know what I mean? This is just tried and true stuff. These are the variant covers of Vampirella. I mean, seriously. Cheesecakey and horror. 17 variant covers, of course. We're going to look at them all. Because that's what we do on this show. We look at comic books. Imagine getting all 17 variant covers. I mean, cosplay photo variant. Here we go. Some more. Gosh. Interesting. Ultraviolet paint variant. That's Dayglow. That's great. And just for an issue, like an issue 667. This is like, I guess that's like Dynamite's thing as a publisher. I mean, like, content is kind of okay, right? But the meat of the matter is their variant covers. We're getting near the end of the list. Aw, I almost picked this up. Dynamite Elvira meets H.P. Lovecraft. And here's like I love Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. I grew up watching her show, Movie Macabre. It was like before Mystery Science Theater 3000. She was just this hostess of bad horror movies, and it was funny and schlocky, and she was cheeky and made double entendres, and she was sexy. And so I've been following Cassandra Peterson on Twitter for a couple of years because, oh my God, she was like one of my earliest crushes as a kid. And she's just like, she's an elderly lady now and very progressive and lefty, but a lot of that stuff is wasted on me, especially when it's like when they start picking on their polaric opposites and equating with evil and stuff. I don't have room for that in my life, or the same thing about people on the right start going on about people with non-traditional loving relationships and calling them degenerates and using the F slur. I mean, just that's where they lose me on that too. So it's just, it's like, yeah, but Elvira meets H.P. Lovecraft. I wanted to get this, and look at all of these. Oh, look at the photo cover variant. That is Cassandra Peterson, probably in her mid-30s. This is her, beautiful, beautiful, funny woman. I mean, if I go back in time, maybe I could woo her. But she would leave me for her wife eventually. But you know, but this is the part where I'm like, okay, I'm like, am I allowing my personal feelings of the creator to gatekeep me from this comic book? Because she didn't block me on Twitter. I just like, I've had enough of Cassandra Peterson. I mean, live and let live. Go do your thing, and I'll see you on the other side, lady. I love you. And and she turned into like my lefty aunt, who won't shut up about things at Thanksgiving. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna unfollow you, and just like, and that's that. Oh, yeah, I didn't block her. I didn't mute her. I may have put her on mute, but mute is different than block. I mean, seriously, it's a whole different intention too. And Cassandra Peterson never did anything to insult me or any interaction, but just had enough. Dune House Carino from Boom Studio. No, thank you. Dutch number 2. Yeah, keep an eye out for it for Joe Casey. Decent stuff. I passed on it though. Yeah, sorry. Dear Editor number 3. This indie darling from Mad Cave Studios. Mad Cave might be up and coming. They've got better buzz about them recently. Garbage Pail Kids, Trashing Through Time. Issue 4. Let's see. Swimsuit variant covers. Yeah. Great. And that's about it this week, huh? Lots of different, independent books. Try one. Why not? You might find something you would like. Seriously, Black Demon Tales Descent number 1, $4.99 on Scout Comics. Let's see if it's actually out there, but and I got a big thing with art too. And it's just like I don't want to just be buying floppies of something that you are eventually going to release in a trade paperback that are they're essentially they're printed up digital art. I mean, just there's a whole step you could eliminate. And I don't know. I don't have answers. All I have are more questions. Boy, that's about it for this week of new releases. Anything on the docket to talk about, Pika? Goings on in comics? Let me refer to your copious amounts of show notes. I keep old show notes. We've been doing this shit. I have for any YouTubers out there looking to get some hacks or tips from an old seasoned pro. Like I'm old. I'm definitely not a pro. This is a labor of love. Never lose sight of that. Let me get my. Bring the. Yeah. Never lose sight of that. You're here to have fun, right? I mean, if you want to make some kind of attempt at making money this way, it's great. Good on you. Just keep working, keep grinding, make content that people want to enjoy and enjoy your interactions with them. Seriously. Hold on 1 second. There are some show notes this is from last year. I wrote this probably at the end of 2022 to prepare a structure for 2023's show. I was changing the show from that hardcover Coffeetable book over there, a 365 days book, the Golden Age of DC Comics. You just open up to today's date. You'll look at some comic book art of an antediluvian age. You read the blurb, and you talk about comic books once a day, every day. And it gave us some wonderful structure and an excuse to hang out together. And we started off doing 5-10 minute episodes that grew into 20-minute episodes that grew into what I settled on was a half-hour daily show. And that took a lot of work-life balance and it can work for you too. So it's like I'm doing, and I was doing this. It's a hobby about my hobby, and I love it. So for last year, I renamed the show the Comics Coffee Table. Here at this Comics Coffee Table, where we gather and pull up a chair, grab a cuppa. It would be 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern daily. Take our break together and talk about something we love. Comic books. Let's take our minds off our minds. And let's remember, why we love this stuff in the first place. Pull up a chair, grab a cuppa. There's a fresh there's a fresh kettle on the stove. Well, actually, I use an electric kettle now. They're really cool, to be honest. I got a Black & Decker one. It's nice. Yeah. But here are my show notes from to be starting to, you see, set a 20-minute timer. I got a little analog timer, battery operated. Set a 20-minute timer, and that's that. Remember, turkey's done. Turkey's done. Remember, we haven't heard that in a while, huh? But that's back when we were doing 20-minute shows at the beginning of 2023, and then I just relaxed a bit and we got more viewers too when we expanded to a half an hour format. That happened. But there's the brass tacks of it, WWBRD. What would Bob Ross do? Bob Ross is my YouTube spirit animal. And he's everything I want to be in a YouTuber. Entertaining, informative, relaxing. Something that you want to chill out with. Someone you want to chill out with. One of my greatest problems about my YouTube sphere itself and certain shows that I've made bonds with actual humans. I have a new... What's my show? I can say anything I want. I haven't watched Friday Night Tights in ages. But I made a whole group of friends, both online and in real life, through that live chat of that wonderful show from Gary and Jeremy Griggs. And I've been watching it for years, but I haven't watched it in months. I'm just it's about winding down on a Friday night. I don't want to get wound up. I want to chill out. So I'll watch Bob Ross painting happy little trees. Look at that. You don't make it. There are no accidents here, only happy mistakes. Just making art. And what we talk about here with comic books is art. I have a big thing of an appreciation for art in my life. So Bob Ross, what would Bob Ross do? He made 20-odd seasons of this wonderful show with 2 cameras and showing you how to make something beautiful, how to express something, how to, isn't that great intention? So this is a very well-intended show. We have a well-intended values of I want to turn you onto reading more comic books. I want you to go to your local comic book shop, your LCS, and spend your money there on once a week, once a month. Get in touch with some old friends, your comic book friends, your non-delusional parasocial relationships. We're not talking about shipping. We're talking about, my 40-year friendship with Aurora Monroe. Seriously. I grew up in the projects of South Boston, but I also grew up in Professor Xavier's mansion and in a danger room. Not a safe space. But yeah, so this is the structure of the show. I would always joke and say, hey, these are the copious amounts of show notes left for me by my executive producer, a Pikachu. Great gag. And I'm the talent. I only read what he writes down. I love the joke. Use what you got, you're on TV, but yeah, this is our coffee table. Yeah. And I just look for defects, dings on the books, and, have an ending. So have a beginning, an opening, have an ending, and anything in between, have a few ideas. So that's just the brass tacks of it, and and then just write down show notes, show ideas. And that's what you fill the center with. Do the usual thing, and then be like, oh, okay, well, and speaking of R.I.P. Toriyama-san, I was on a wonderful live stream over at Bandito Bane, talking about friends that you make online. Two friends that I've made online, Wakazashi's Tea House, Mr. Gray Cope. He's a Brit living in Japan, and we're friends. And we do live streams together and shows. And we both were guests on Bandito Bane's last Saturday night. You can always check it out. We were just talking about Dragon Ball and a Toriyama-san, Akira Toriyama, who just passed away. It was a deliciously geeky, nerdy time with some fans of this great mangaka, this Akira Toriyama. Oh, and we got to express our love and our appreciation. And so it's just three geeky dudes hanging out. Something to see. I'll drop the link if that's still up. Sometimes you write some helpful things down. Like I wrote a map of like okay, in first grade it was what year and you were how old, and just like it scrolls all the way down to high school, and to be like, okay, so school went from this to this, like, oh, okay, just so when you want to specifically talk about issues or movies, floppies released on a certain date at a certain year, how old were you? Who were you? Where were you? I could tell you that Superhero Universe 3 and Downtown Crossing, Boston, Massachusetts in 1983. That's where I was at 11 years old. Something like that. So then I have some easy reference too. And, but yeah, keep some old show notes. It's like, oh yeah, look, the 1980s in the X-Men office was dominated by women. True. Artistic, creative, and into the publication industry too. Louise Jones, who would meet her husband Walter Simonson at the office, and you might know her as Wheezy Simonson, and then Ann Nesenti. Yeah, from basically September of 1980 when Louise Jones started at issue 137 as the editor of X-Men, to all the way until issue 232 of August of 1988. With Ann Nesenti left the book. Indeed. Wow. Yeah, so Annie Nesenti started her editorial run at 183. Wow. I love this. Is this the esoteric knowledges that fuel our fandoms. Do they not? But yeah, so wow. Well, thank you so very much for tuning in today. And it's been a winter, a salute winter. Goodbye, winter. Hello, spring. And I hope everything's coming up roses for you if you enjoy the smell of those things. I don't. I'm actually allergic to fresh cut flowers, so oh gosh, it's impossible for me to date. I'm allergic to down feathers, cats, and fresh cut flowers. My asthma. Oh my gosh, there's someone. I see the sunshine peeking through the clouds as we speak. Pika to the interweb. Let's update that match page. All right. Thank you so very much for tuning in today. Just geeks being geeky, spending some time together, talking about comic books. We do this twice a week now. We used to do a daily show, but work-life balance is essential. And this is a hobby, and it's a hobby about my hobby. And I love sharing this with this community here, our fellowship, our group, our little part of fandom. And I'm glad we get to share the experience about being a comic book fan, buying floppies, the periodical publication format of these stories. It's the business is changing, the marketplace is changing, the medium is changing, but comics have been a constant and a through line through all that. Really, really good stuff. And I'm glad we're sharing it together. And thank you so much. And please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm doing this funny thing lately about spirituality, and it's called the MGTOW Morning Show, and it's just how can you defeat the blues when well, it starts from the inside, and then it comes out. It does, and I can show you how a way to get there through gratitude and blessings. Something that I got this gratitude, like, as I started talking about FNT, and I'm not watching it. I haven't been watching it, and it's just more of like things are just so polarizing, and people are just disagreeing, and it's just so much churn when it comes to voices and stuff. And I'm not taking sides. I don't. It's my world is round. My world doesn't have sides. I mean, I like you all. I have my all caps T-shirts next to my neurotic T-shirts and my heel versus babyface hoodie, and look, this is the Geeky and Gamers logo you see on this piece of memorabilia, like every day on every show I make. So I have to have some responsibility with myself too, to be like, hey, I'm associating with Geeks and Gamers, and they're all right people. I like them. I don't mean that in a capital O. I mean that they're all right. You said I was all right, Spider. I said I'm all right, Spider. You fucking prick. Dance that drink over, you varlet. That's from Goodfellas. Joe Pesci's famous scene with Christopher Imperioli, who later went on to be Chrissy in The Sopranos. Good stuff. I love those movies. But yeah, FNT. Gary taught me the value of gratitude. He said, try a gratitude list. So I don't think I do it right the way he would do it. I bootlegged it and adapted it to give me the most maximum leverage and potential to mine out of my life, me knowing me. So I did it my own way, and I wrote a gratitude list every morning, like on legal pad, just like this, blue biro, blue stick pen, medium point, blue ink, please. Yeah. And Gary Beekler is, God bless you and your family and your success and your platform and your show. I tune in when I can, and I'm grateful and grateful to Jeremy Griggs at Geeks and Gamers, and there are hosts of FNT, and it's good. It's good to tune in for a couple of minutes and just be like, okay, I'm starting to get worked up. I don't want to get worked up. I've been working hard all week. I want to chill out. Maybe I'll catch it like sometimes, like, a Friday morning, but then it's just like, again, it's just like, this is my time off. Like, work's intense. I mean, I get so worked up with FNT stuff. I love them though. They're good guys. I'm also like a big fan of Ethan Van Sciver too, and it's like the Hatfields and McCoys. It's like, I hope for a resolution. Here's my plea. I donated $100 to Uche Nawari's Geeks and Gamers Zack Snyder night. I saw that all go down in real time. And then the days after that, and they showed a lot of strife and a lot of fighting. It hasn't been this bad in our culture sense, and that might have been the inciting incident too. That's where, Jeremy and Ethan broke up in a way. It was over that shit. I've got my receipt my screenshot to prove I donated $100 to that, because I have my own story, and I will support, suicide awareness anytime, and support those guys at G&G. I'm not a member. I don't watch his shows, but gosh, I like the cut of that guy's jib, Jeremy Griggs. He's all right. I want to see High Council once again. I want to see Jeremy and Ethan talking about Star Wars once again with Rich. and of world-class bullshitters, and just like hang out and do it for charity. We can do something with autistic people. We can do it for suicide awareness. But I would love to see some reconciliation and done with as a fundraiser, because we as a community can look beyond our differences, and we as a community can donate a shitload of money to a cause, all in this group's name. These bunch of misfit, wackadoo, sports radio, Howard Stern wannabe, kayfabe inducing, and often maligned by white hats and good people on one side of the aisle. This toxic fandom. I want to see, like, imagine if this toxic fandom could raise $500,000 for something. We could do it. You see people show up for Eric July. You see people show up for Ethan Van Sciver. Financially. Yeah, just ruin your moment, Sully, with mispronouncing words. But no, I would love to see reunification, especially as a fundraiser. Imagine that. An episode of High Council. Let's talk about the state of Star Wars. Get an all-star panel. Well, you can get like Drunk 3PO. You can get Anna, that Star Wars girl. You can get Star Wars Theory. But you can get Mike Zero, for fuck's sake, if you want to. You know what I mean? You can get Robert Meyer Burnett. I mean, think about that. An ultimate High Council. But it starts with Ethan and Jeremy being like, hey, let's raise some money together. You know, that would be cool. Okay? I'm saying we could use it as a fandom. We could use some healing energy. I mean, this level of judgment and labeling, it's like, hasn't that been the case in our case the entire time? But that one side of the aisle is using against us, and now we're using it against each other. I don't have answers. All I have are more questions, and I would love to see a fundraiser. If we raised $1 million, that's a bell you can't unring. Who's doing that? For why? I mean, think about that. The power. Just be like, these toxic fans took time out and donated and generated and donated this huge legendary amount in the name of goodwill and of fair play. And, you know, cheers. Sláinte. God bless you. Happy spring. Spring is sprung. It's time to watch The Wicker Man. It's going to be time to watch The Wicker Man soon. I think that's a May 1st thing. It's not quite Belcha. It's... But thank you so very much. And thanks for listening to me rant. I mean, that's my pitch. I mean, I would love to be able to show this to Ethan and to Jeremy and to Gary, being like, and to Doomcock. Let's have a new Inquisition. One night only. Admission is $100. Imagine that. And it just starts. You know what I mean? Like, you know, but I don't know. Am I suggesting a paywall? I don't know. No. But I'm suggesting that we all come together and for a special cause. Ain't that cool? That's the power of common ground. Holy ground, Highlander, as Clancy Brown said in the famous 1986 movie Highlander. Yes. But thank you so very much for tuning in today. It's New Comic Book Day. What are you picking up at your local comic book shop this week? I'll be picking up a few. They'll be in my pull list, and I'll see what's going on. And remember, YouTubers, you know, keep it simple. KISS. Keep it simple, Sully. So I made show notes. I got a timer. See, the time's almost up. I put a 20-minute timer. And start there. Keep it and get a boom microphone. I would pull it over and show you. You've seen it plenty of times in older ones. I've gone back to the microphone out of frame, and I always felt like I was competing for space. I was always kind of whacking my face into it. I was just rather, I think it's cool, but it's like I got a boom mic and I got it in a combo, and it's I use a Blue Yeti, and it was a good investment. And thank you so very much to everyone that tunes in. And you can leave comments, you can leave criticisms, like what would you like to see in the show in the coming year? With the conventions coming up, so there's meetups, there are more movies coming out, and things to talk about, and so like let's keep it real and stick together and enjoy our hobbies and enjoy our comics together. Thank you so very much. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. We will see you again in those funny pages. Ciao. Bye-bye.